Hello out there. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very exciting day for me because today I want to share with you my personal top 8 dating tips. So as you all well know, I am a widow, and these are just some things that before I started getting back into the dating scene, I wrote down. I have them written down in one of my diaries. Um, and I went through them, made sure that I followed these 8 steps, and they worked with for me. So I decided to share them with you. So let's get right into those top 8 tips. Okay, my number one tip when I started dating was, you know what, Naciel, you have not dated for 4 years. 4 years. I was single right after my husband passed away, and I was just doing me, just being me, just lounging around the house and going about my daily life, and I got bored. So, tip number one, I decided to reinvent myself. Yes, I said, if you're gonna go out there looking like that, acting like that, thinking like that, feeling like that, you're never gonna find a date. You're never going to enjoy your life. So, I decided to reinvent myself. And no matter what it was, that was my idea, my personal idea on reinventing myself. This was step number one, and I had to do it. If it was changing my wardrobe, changing my look, um, doing whatever it was, plastic surgery, it's another video, or whatever it was that I needed to do to reinvent myself, especially in my thought process, my feelings, my beliefs, I reinvented myself. I reinvented and worked on Naciel. Remember out there, you cannot change other people. You cannot make other people be who you want them to be for you, but you can change you. So that's what I did. That's what I did. And I loved the process. I loved going through doing this for myself. It was a wonderful experience. Tip number two, stop making excuses for not dating. I made excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, my husband only died a year ago or 2 years ago. You know, I know friends, I have friends that their husbands, their wives passed away, and a month later they were on the dating scene. To each their own. For me, as a true Latina, I waited out a year before even thinking about dating. It took me 4 years, but that was because of, like I said, that self-realization I went through. So one of my top excuses, if I can remember, is, well, remember, I have it written on my diary. Hold on. One of my top excuses for not dating, and I titled the page of this diary entry, Why I Don't Want to Date. My top excuse was, it's not the right time. Again, it wasn't the right enough time. It was not the right time. It was not the right time. And for 4 years, it was not the right time. If it is not now, it's not going to be then. A year, 2 years, 3 years. You've got to stop making that excuse. It's not the right time. You never know if it's not the right or whether it's the right time or not till you get out there. Or, I don't have time. I just don't have time. I'm constantly busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I don't have time. Yes, you do. You have the time. I have the time. I have the time. It was just, that was my excuse. I don't have time. But yes, I did have the time. And when I stopped making that excuse, I started dating. Or the big one for me, I'm too old to be dating. I'm too old to be dating. Well, again, I have friends and family that are 10, 20 years older than me, and they're dating and getting married. As a matter of fact, I was looking through the internet and I saw a couple in their 90s getting married. So out goes the excuse of it's not the right time, I don't have time, and I'm too old. There you go. Number three, I have to learn to understand the language of man. Yes. For the ladies or gents that are watching me right now, they're watching this video right now, gentlemen, guys out there, you don't understand our language. Our language is very, very different than yours. Extremely. And I don't mean language like language I mean language. Language. Language of the heart, language of the soul, language of the mind. It's different. It's not that we are different, it's that our language is different. We just speak different languages as far as our needs, our concerns, our heart speaks different languages. So yeah, learn to understand us women better. And for you girls out there, you women out there, ladies, men speak very different than we do. Their language, their need language, their love language, sex language is very different than ours. So I had to learn how to learn their language. They don't hear the way that we do. They don't. Men don't talk about their feelings. Uh, they don't know how to talk about their feelings because from the time that they're very little, they don't get taught the way that we do. Tell me about it. Because we're little princesses when we're little. So it's like, oh, poor you. Tell me about it, baby. Yes, tell me. And for boys, it's different. It's like, hey, why are you crying? Why are you sad? Suck it up. You're a boy. And they learn how to hold those feelings back. So I could not expect, do not expect for men to just sit there and open up the way that we do and talk about all about their feelings. They don't. As a matter of fact, it makes them uncomfortable, especially on a date. I mean, a first date, and it's like, how do you feel? How do you feel? No, 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 no. I have to learn to ask. Because what do you think? What do you think? It doesn't, they don't automate. How do you feel? The minute a man hears feelings, they shut down. So I learned to ask, what do you think? Men are thinkers, not feelers. And I'm not saying like generally all men. I'm saying some. Again, this is just Naciel's opinion. Just my opinion, just between us. So yeah, I had to learn the language. Men will ask, well, what do you think? Or what do you think about this? Um, they, like, again, they do have feelings. I'm not going to say they don't. They do have feelings. They just don't like to talk about it. Until they are ready to say, I feel, then cool. Now, tip number 4. I had to learn how not to be a perfectionist about men or about what men must have in order for me to date them. Think about it. And you know what? It's great for you to write this again on a little diary, a piece of paper, get it and write down what qualities does a man have to have in order to date me or in order for me to date them. Don't be a perfectionist about it. Don't. Because then you're never going to have a date. Nobody's going to ever measure up to your idea of the perfect man. Again, you can't change them. You can only change yourself. And so when I stopped being a perfectionist about what I thought a man must have or must be in order to date me, until I changed that thought in my mind, I started opening myself up to meeting different type of men from different walks of life. And actually, I enjoyed quite a bit of those dates. It's just a date. You're not shopping to keep. Even when you shop, you're able to return it if you don't like it. Okay, my tip number 5. Getting out of my comfort zone. We must get out of our comfort zone. Be open, and this goes along with tip number 4, be open to different cultures. Be open to different worlds. Get out of your comfort zone. If you only date attorneys, be open to dating a doctor, a waiter. Be open to dating a construction worker. If you only date Latins or African Americans or Anglos, Caucasians, Hispanics, Orientals, if you only date within that little circle, you're limiting yourself. What about if the great love of your life just happens to be of a different race or a different profession than what your mind tells you is the ideal perfect? Stop. I have to stop being a perfectionist. Open yourself up. There's a vast world out there filled with men, and you're only sticking yourself into this little box. Or I was sticking myself into this little box. Open it. All right. Tip number 6. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you think you can, you can't. If you think it's wrong, it's wrong. Mm-mm. Yeah. And that was my train of thought all of the time. I can't. I can't go on a date today. I can't do it because of this. I won't. I can't. It's wrong. Then it was. It was for me. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. You're right. I had to get out of that mode. I had to, and this goes back to tip number 1, reinvent myself. I had to say, I can, I will. I can fall in love. I will fall in love. I can date. I will date. I am worthy of finding someone wonderful, not perfect, wonderful, to love me because I'm wonderful and I'll love them back. Whether you think you are or not, you're right. Whether you think you can't or not, you're right. Reinventing myself. I had to change that train of thought. So, tip number 7, I had to learn to go from invisible, Casper the Friendly Ghost, to becoming totally visible and shining a light around me, becoming a star in my own right. That goes back again to reinventing myself. I had to learn to become visible, to not hide behind, I'm going to get hurt, not hide behind, I'm too old, too fat, too skinny, too dark, too light, too young, too old. None of us are perfect. Not me, not my ex dates or my future dates, my ex-husband, my second husband. None of us are perfect. Perfection only comes in what those romantic movies, Hollywood, uh, novels. That's where they invent perfection. But in the real world out here where we live, no, nobody's perfect. Not at all. The closest you can get to perfection is, or to that perfect love that they claim to in the movies or the romance novels, is for you, for me, for me to learn to love myself so that I could love in return the way that I love myself, I would love that other person. Um, to treat my dates as I would want to be treated. So you get what you put out. You get what you put out. And in order for me to not be invisible and become visible, again, I reinvented myself. And I learned all of this in my journey to reinventing myself so that I could finally enjoy a true adult relationship, whether it would be with friends, with a date, with a partner, or with my future, even with myself. And tip number 8. This is very, very important. And it's not just on dates, but these tips have helped me to have great, successful, fun dates, as well as relationships, not just with um, a partner, but with even my family and friends. So, tip number 8, ask questions. Ask questions. Not only does it let others know that you are truly interested in what they have to say, but remember, men don't just automatically open up. Ask them a question, a relevant question. Not about feelings, just about random things, so that they can become comfortable and be able to open up. Uh, and then become a listener. Learn to become a listener. Listen not only with your ears, listen with your mind. Listen with your heart. Learn to be quiet and listen. Once he answers that question that you asked him and he's quiet again, it's because he doesn't want to open up anymore about it. Or he just finished talking about it. Ask another question. You never know what you might learn. And at that same time, your date will realize, oh my goodness, Naciel is a great listener. She listens, she truly listens. And it matters to her what I have to say, or she wants to know more about me. Leads to a second date, third date, you never know. Above all, just have fun and enjoy yourself. I learned to just have fun and enjoy myself on my date, not putting any pressure on myself, number one, and number two, on the person that I'm dating. Um, I had to remember it is only a date, Nasia. It is only a date. It is not the rest of your life. It's just a date. They're not going to wrap them up. You're not going to wrap them up, bag them, and bring them home with you. No, it's just a date. If it leads to a second date, fabulous. If it doesn't, that's good too. Next. Those are all my tips. Uh, Tips so far that I've learned. Remember, this is just my opinion. It is just what I did and what worked for me. I hope it works for you. Later on, I will be doing a video on uh, women versus men languages, body language, things like this. Let me know your opinion. Comment it down below. Thank you for watching. Hope it helped. And sassy.